Well, it is just about week 4, 1 o'clock, time for the webinar. Is what I like to call it. Thank you everybody for joining me today. So the goal of the webinar for me is to, ultimately share some value with you guys. I want to tell you my story a little bit, and I'm going to tell you how multifamily brokerage and referrals ties into that, why I got started in the multifamily space to begin with, why I found that to be a perfect niche for me, and really a good niche for any agent to, kind of participate in as it relates to brokerage, but also referrals and how you can get referrals from multifamily clients and investors and that kind of thing. And then I'm going to tie it all up with a red bow and, kind of talk about referrals, specifically 3 types of referrals in the real estate space, ending with the third and how that kind of ties into my entire real estate business moving forward. So just a tiny little snapshot about me and my past. So I got licensed in 1994. So if you do the math on that, that is, I'm going in on 28 years, 27, 28 years in this business. And, I've touched all different pieces of the business, from brokerage to management to development and construction and rehabs and conversions and across all different kind of asset classes as well. So, I've always ridden that residential and commercial fence, if you will. And, I'm opportunity driven. And I've always found that, starting with multifamily, that really kind of pushes me into several different directions as far as the brokerage business and opportunities altogether. So not unlike a lot of you guys in getting your real estate license, the motivation for me was, first and foremost, I wanted to work for myself. And I kind of wanted to control my own destiny. I learned that as a kid. My father had his own business, came over to this country with nothing. That whole, coming to America story that a lot of us share. But, a lot of my inspiration and motivation and ambition always stems from that. And I always said that if somebody can come over to this country with no money and no language and become successful and own their own business, that's the path that I want to take. And if I can't do it with the language and with all the opportunity available to me, then something else is wrong. But anyway, that was kind of my path. And from the multifamily standpoint, I saw a lot of my family, my uncles and other people within our circle that were, actually came over as janitors. And they were taking care of these buildings, and I would help them. And, when they would go away, I kind of take over for them. So I learned the multifamily, the operation of an apartment building. And those guys, as started working for other people, ended up buying buildings. And, it turned out to, what started out as just buying themselves another job really turned into a hell of an investment over the last, 30, 40, 50 years. Any of those early investors that held on to those properties, and a lot of them still have, are sitting on a lot of equity and really exponential growth. So God bless them for, maybe not necessarily having the foresight, but having the guts to get into the business. And, back in the day, they were collecting rents with guns and baseball bats and stuff like that. So, it was not an easy path, but it was a path that they understood, took, and, are definitely reaping the rewards, later on in life. But, kind of going back to my story, I got my real estate license. And I had a business plan. I didn't realize it at the time, but looking back, I in fact did have a business plan. And my plan was very simple. It was to get my real estate license, make some sales, earn the commission, buy a building, repeat, rinse, repeat. How does that go? So make some sales, earn some commissions, buy another building, refinance that building, cash out, buy another building, flip into something else. When you start getting into that space and into a little bit of that commercial real estate, that's when opportunities really kind of come your way. And I started getting into wholesaling, where I was flipping contracts and, just doing all kinds of really fun things. I mean, I was 22, 23, 24 years old, buying buildings and selling buildings and, chatting in boiler rooms and stuff like that. And, when you get into that and when you start owning these properties, you understand the operation of the building. And when you do that, you can articulate the benefits, and you could really kind of sell the process to a potential client or investor. And there's a way to show a building and a cadence to talking about a building and an investment. It's not like selling a house or showing a house where you start in the living room and you go to the kitchen and stuff like that. It's a little bit different because you've got different units that you're going to be looking at. You've got hallways, you may have grounds to cover, you've got tenants to deal with who may or may not let you in. You have the ever so awesome famous basement and laundry room area and boiler room area, maybe storage. Are there storage lockers? There's a lot that goes into an apartment building, whether it's 2 units or 200 units. And there's a cadence, and a lot of you multifamily guys out there that are watching, understand that and know that. And so that was my start into multifamily. And what I quickly learned also in the real estate business, when you're a real estate broker or an agent, you got to lead generate. That's the idea. And in 1994, 5, 6, there wasn't internet leads. You actually had to call off of the newspaper or the phone book or the reverse directory or wherever you were getting phone numbers and contact information to call people. You were calling, and that's what I was doing. And I was getting, really where I was starting was the newspaper on for rent ads. And I would call for rent ads and basically ask them if they owned the building and if they wanted to buy. That was kind of my initial script starting. And what I found really quickly was that it was a pretty easy conversation, because a lot of these guys, they're proud of what they own, and they like to talk about their buildings, and they like to talk about their war stories and stuff like that. So you end up getting into a conversation which may turn into a relationship and a meeting, and you get to know all these guys. And the longer that you're in it and the more calls that you make, you realize, well, first of all, you realize that it's an easy phone call. So it almost doesn't feel like a cold call. So if you get your script down, it's very easy, and you can kind of blast through them pretty good. But secondly, it is I kind of lost my train of thought here for a second, but it's you find that 2 things. The space is very small. The players, there's only, if you get into like bigger buildings, there's a handful of players that are all swimming around the same pool. I started in the city of Chicago, so obviously a much bigger market than Cleveland, but you got your areas and your neighborhoods and stuff like that. And you start calling on a Rogers Park, and you find out that, one group or one family might own 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings. And now all of a sudden you've got, that's a hell of a potential customer or client. So they are either adding to their portfolio or they might be selling off their portfolio. And that could be one building at a time. So long as you start with that relationship and you build that relationship, it could turn into multiple deals. I will tell you a quick little story, and it's going to tie into the call and then the referral, or the credibility of a referral. So, back in the day, I was like everybody. I was hitting the phones. I still hit the phones, but I'm calling for rent ads. And I called somebody, said, hello, you own this building over here. Are you interested? Are you going to be buying anything else? And like any investor or any opportunist, they say, I'm always looking for a deal. What do you got? I'm always buying. I'm always looking. I'm not selling, but I'm buying, or I'm selling, or whatever. It's a conversation. So I called one guy and he said, yeah, I'm always looking. So I set the appointment to meet with him. He asked me to come see him, which I did. And, that's what we do. Step 1, make the phone call. Step 2, have the conversation, build the rapport. Step 3, get to the appointment. So I got to the appointment. I walked in, and he had he still does, has a auto body business, very successful auto body business. I walked in the door. I'm about to introduce myself, and he stops me and he says, my dad knows you. He says, do whatever you say. So that, in fact, was kind of a referral to a degree, because the old man knew who I was, told his son. So the old man basically referred me to his son. The son trusted the old man's knowledge of me or credibility, and began working with me. So to make us kind of a long story short, I ended up doing 6 deals with this guy over I think it was probably an 18-month period. So the phone call that started the whole thing from the newspaper, started a conversation, got to a meeting. Now a multifamily investor, multiple deals. So one phone call isn't, when you call on a single family home, that person may or may not be ready to sell, and they're not going to sell for another 7, 8, 10 years. So the lifetime value of that customer can be X, where the lifetime value of a multifamily investor or owner could be X times 10, could be 10X, could be 5X. And would you rather work in it's like exponential. Would you rather work with 5 clients that own 25 buildings or 5 clients that own 5 houses? So that's kind of where I saw the value in working with multifamily investors, and then investors to begin with, because they may own a building, but they may also have a business, and their business might be manufacturing, and they own a building over here, they own a little factory over here, or a little warehouse space over here, and then next to them they're renting something, or it just blossoms. One phone call, one relationship can really blossom into a lot of different things, which leads to the second piece of my we'll call it a presentation, is referrals. And how do you get referrals? You get referrals in 2 ways, really. Number one, you give exceptional service. If you give exceptional service to your client, you're going to stand out, and your client is going to want to recommend you or refer you to their friends and family. That's number one. So you always want to provide exceptional service and deliver exceptional service, but to get to the finish line in the transaction. But when you give it to the client, and that client becomes a friend and a client for life, they are going to be your raving fan, and they're going to refer you to their friends and family. That's the whole idea. And a lot of agents today, they are strictly referral based agents, and they don't pick up the phone. They've either been around for a long time, or they built their business very specifically and are completely on referral. And God bless those agents, because those are the really successful agents out there that understand the idea of the referral business. But I wonder if they understand, that's the transactional piece of the referral business. I wonder if they understand the passive residual piece of the referral business, which I'm going to touch on in a little while. So that space lends itself really well to referrals. So there's three referrals, right? That's where I'm going to start now. The referral source number one is, in fact, that your client, your friend, your family refers you as the agent to one of their friends or family. It's kind of a direct referral, right? And again, you're getting that by providing exceptional service. But number two, I skipped over something. The second way you're going to get referrals is you're going to ask. You're going to ask your current clients for referrals. You're going to ask your past clients for referrals. You're going to ask your friends and family for referrals. You're going to ask them for business. Are you doing anything in the next 90 days? Is anybody at work doing anything in the next 90 days? Please consider me a resource. I want to help you and all your family. I want to deliver everybody as exceptional service as I delivered you. And so you ask. So number one is you deliver the service, and number two is you ask. So kind of got a little bit jumbled there, but I think you're trying to keep this as conversational as possible. So I hope I'm not losing any of you. Anyway, so the first source of referral is, call it consumer to you, the agent. The second source of referral is agent to agent. And that's kind of where the niches come in. Either the niche could be geographic, the niche could be asset class, for example, multifamily, what I'm talking about here. The niche could be condo or land, anything. But when you create a niche for yourself and you become that quote unquote expert advisor in that niche, you could brand yourself that way. And you want to brand yourself that way to the general public, but you also want to brand yourself to other agents within your market. And when you do that and you start building relationships with agents within the marketplace, it's an outstanding source of referrals. And, there might be that high-end luxury agent in in an affluent area selling $3 million houses. They don't want to deal with anything commercial, or they don't want to deal with multifamily, or they don't want to sell a piece of land. They may in fact be looking for somebody to refer that business to for the purpose of delivering exceptional value to their client. Because if they took it on themselves and they weren't prepared or weren't knowledgeable enough in that particular space, they'd be doing their seller or their client a disservice, and they'd really be having a scarcity mindset. Now, a lot of us know the difference between a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset. When you embrace the referral business and embrace that whole idea, you have an abundance mindset, because you're not looking to hoard all of the commission to yourself. You would rather pass the deal off to somebody else that you know is going to deliver and take good care of your client. And so you take a piece of that. Why do you got to get the whole thing? 20-30% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Everybody's heard of that. So I think you're really killing two birds with one stone here. You're capitalizing on the referral financially. You're getting your 20, 25, 30%, whatever you're negotiating, and you're giving exceptional client service to your client by referring them to an expert in that particular area. And this becomes a really great way to build relationships within your marketplace of other agents. The way that I look at agents in the marketplace is I'm going to look at them as partners. I want to partner with you. I want to share my niche with you. I want to share my expertise with you and help you service your clients. And I hope that you would do the same for me. And it's a partnership. And that's the way that you have to, or that you should really frame the referral to your client. I have a business partner who specializes in land. I have a business partner that specializes in multifamily. Let me introduce you to her. I think that you guys will hit it off. I know that she's going to be able to deliver exceptional service to you and without question, get you top dollar, best terms, all that. She knows her stuff. And who's not going to take that lead or take that business? It's win-win-win. It's win for you, it's win for the other agent, and it's win for your client. And maybe it's win for somebody else on the other side of the transaction. You never know what that's going to look like. So referral source number 2, agent to agent. Referral source number 3, last but not least, is agent to company, or referring an agent to your company, or recruiting an agent, attracting an agent to your company or to your team, even better. And this kind of goes back to partnerships. When you bring on an agent to your team, now all of a sudden you're a partner, right? When you bring on an agent to your company, there's a partnership there. But how financially aligned is the partnership? With the company that I'm working with right now, is called eXp Realty. We are financially aligned. And so what that means is that I not only have an incentive to bring in an agent onto the eXp platform, either on my team or having them start their own team or having their own business on the platform. I have an incentive to do that, to grow the company, because it's an agent-owned company. We're a publicly traded stock on the NASDAQ, and as the company grows, the value of the stock grows. In theory, it goes up and down, but in theory, it's going to grow. And by being a stakeholder and a shareholder in the company, my portfolio grows, right? So I not only have an incentive to attract the agent to the company as the company grows organically, but I have an incentive to help that agent and make sure that agent succeeds and produces and makes money and maybe attracts other agents, because there's a financial incentive in that for me as well. So I don't want to get too deep into the weeds here, and I appreciate everybody sticking with me. What I do want to do is offer you my 2 scripts that I use for multifamily prospecting. I'll try to put it in the chat box here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But in the end, whoever's participating in this webinar today, I'll send an email directly to you and send you those PDFs very easy scripts to master, and have been very beneficial to me. They're just easy conversations to have. So I'm going to provide that to you guys. I hope that it's something that you could just kind of take with you and implement into your business day one. Just a simple script. So, but what I'd like to do now is kind of pivot and share my screen and share a video with you guys. A friend of mine, a business partner of mine in California, and his name is Aaron, articulates the business model of the EXP platform really, really well, really concise. It's really simple. And he's going to show you guys how the referral business between agents across the country has really changed the landscape. And it's changed my business. It's changed the way that I look at agents, not only within my own market, but agents in other markets in other states, and how we can all partner together, be financially aligned, and grow this company from 19,000 agents in September of 2019 when I joined to 65,000 agents plus today. So anyway, if you just bear with me, I'm going to share my screen. See how I'm going to do this. This, got that, and here we go.
What I'm going to share with you today literally changed my business, and it changed my life, and it may change yours too. I worked for years as a real estate agent for Christie's International Real Estate here in Manhattan Beach, California, and I was extraordinarily happy there. I loved it. I ran a great business, and I still do, selling about 50 homes per year with an average sales price of about $1 million per home. So one day, a friend of mine, Michelle, who's an agent out in Michigan, gives me a call and asked me to watch a presentation and evaluate a brokerage model that she was participating in. Now, I had zero intention of changing companies. In fact, I couldn't have been happier with where I was at, but I love learning new things, so I was happy to take a look at it. What I saw changed everything I had learned and known about the real estate industry in my 18 years as a real estate agent and broker. I learned that there's a massive disruption occurring today in the real estate industry. This disruption is a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate brokerage called eXp Realty. I was totally blown away by what I saw. So I brought the information on this new real estate model to a friend of mine within my company, a guy named Dave Caskey. I value his opinion because Dave leads one of the most successful real estate teams in the country, doing over $300 million in sales volume annually. Dave took a look at the model and he was totally blown away too. So what we both saw was how innovative and radically different this model was compared to any company we'd ever seen before. In fact, once we saw it, we really couldn't unsee it. And we both decided to make the switch over to eXp Realty. So the question is this: what did a high-producing agent like myself and an extraordinarily successful team leader like Dave, what did we both see that literally compelled us to join this revolutionary company? Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with a little bit of background. Industries are transformed when disruptive technologies are introduced. Blockbuster is a perfect example. Blockbuster Video was a massive $5 billion company with over 9,000 brick and mortar stores. They completely dominated their industry, right? Netflix had no stores, but they came along with streaming video, and in a few short years, they put Blockbuster out of business. The same thing happened with the travel industry. Do you remember going to your travel agent to book a vacation or a cruise? Not anymore. Travelocity, Hotels.com, and all the travel sites, they changed all that. The same thing happened with the taxi industry and Uber, and it happened in the hotel and accommodation industry with Airbnb. Airbnb doesn't own any hotel rooms. They're a cloud-based company. But maybe the most obvious example of industry disruption for most of us today is the retail industry and Amazon. There are thousands of brick and mortar stores that shut down every year, and Amazon is doing better than ever. So across the board, cloud-based companies have disrupted all these industries, and now that same industry-changing disruption has come to our industry. It's come to the real estate industry. eXp Realty is a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate company that has brought the most innovative changes we've seen in the real estate industry in over 100 years. The old traditional real estate brokerage model typically works like this. There's a big international company at the top, Remax, Keller Williams, Century 21, Sotheby's. Then they divide the country into regions. Okay, so then there's franchises and broker owners, and then they have to hire managers and recruiters and office staff. And they have these big, fancy, expensive offices, and they're filled with copiers and phones and internet, and they have utilities to pay for, and on and on and on and on. There's so many expenses. And the agent is at the bottom of this massive pile of salaries and expenses, and the agent has to pay for all that with your hard-earned commissions. It's a top-heavy model, and it's just not sustainable. eXp Realty is the new model. It's a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate company that eliminates costly commercial office space because it's all in the cloud. And it eliminates millions of dollars of bloated expenses. All that freed up money now goes back to making the agents' lives and businesses better in two major ways. The first is that it's invested in providing the best agent business systems on the planet. And the second is that it puts more money back into the agent's pocket. That's you. At eXp, the agent is not at the bottom like the old model. The agent is at the top because we actually share in the ownership of the company. And we're backed directly by a multi-billion-dollar international tech company. When I worked for Christie's, I didn't own the company. In fact, when I worked for my old brokerage, and then I was exposed to eXp's innovative model of doing business, I realized that as long as I was working for my old company, it was like I was working for a Blockbuster store. It was really no different. And now by working with eXp, it ensures not only that you have a future in real estate, but that your future will be bright. Now, there's three major components that make eXp the model of the future. Okay, the first is our cloud office. It's a virtual office that allows you to work from anywhere. eXp World is a cloud campus that allows you to attend meetings and classes and collaborate with other agents. Now, if you've got a question for the broker, all you do is you walk into the office and ask. I used to have to call my broker, leave a voicemail, send a text, wait to get an answer. And now the level of support I get is like nothing I've ever experienced before. It's astonishing. What if you have a question about a commission check? Same thing, just go to accounting and you take care of it. Want to attend a class? There's over 50 hours per week of live education. And it covers tips on sales and listings. It covers lead generation, social media, CRM tools, and so much more. Let me ask you a question. How much education does your current company offer you? Because the amount of education at eXp, it's extraordinary. So every agent at eXp gets the most powerful CRM and lead generation platform available today. It's called KV Core. Now, non-eXp agents pay $600 per month for this service, over $7,000 per year. This system, it sends buyer and seller leads right to your phone. People that want to buy now, people that want to sell now. And KV Core is included for every eXp agent as part of their $85 monthly fee. KV Core is the industry-leading system that provides you with a personalized IDX website, CRM, email and text campaigns, squeeze pages, landing pages, and so much more. You also get SkySlope. Now, SkySlope is the top transaction management program available today. SkySlope allows every agent to manage their business in an all-in-one paperless system that helps you effortlessly stay organized with your transactions. What about marketing collateral? Well, the eXp Marketing Center has over 5,000 pieces to choose from. Everything you could ever want, whether you need a quick postcard, all the way up to a full presentation, it's all there for you. Basically, everything an agent needs to run an efficient, profitable business is provided for you. Now, if you do want to still go to a physical office, we've got you covered. You don't have to give up your office. Every eXp agent gets a Regis membership, so you can use any one of their thousands of flexible workspaces all over the country. The Regis spaces are beautiful. They're stocked with coffee and tea. There's receptionists there. You can rent a conference room to meet clients. They're really, really spectacular. And it's also a great referral source, just by meeting and networking with other business professionals that also use the Regis shared workspaces. Okay, so the first major component to eXp is our cloud office, right? The second is the equity opportunities. Our agents have ownership in the company as stockholders. When I worked for Christie's, or if you work for Remax or Sotheby's or Keller Williams, you don't own the company. At EXP, we own the company together. EXP is a publicly traded, multi-billion-dollar company with zero debt. We're traded on the NASDAQ with Apple and Google and all the other big tech companies, and our ticker symbol is EXPI. When you sell your first home each year, you get stock in the company. When you reach your commission cap, you get stock in the company. When an agent you brought to the company sells their first home, you get stock. And if you're a top producer, we call it an icon agent, you can get up to $16,000. Your entire cap that you've paid to the company, you can get that back to you in the form of stock. There's even an agent equity program. It's totally optional, but it's amazing, where you can take 5% of your commission check and you can purchase stock at a 10% discount. Now, I've got a question for you. What do you think your financial advisor would tell you about buying stock at a 10% discount the day you buy it? I think they'd say it's a good thing, don't you? Okay. The third major component of EXP is their revenue share plan. Now, revenue share is very different from profit share, which is the Keller Williams model. Because after Keller Williams pays all of their expenses, if there's no profit, how much is there to share? Nothing. Revenue share, however, comes directly off the top. So when you sponsor an agent to join EXP and they sell a home, you actually get a percentage of that commission. And that percentage comes from the EXP portion of the split, not from the agent's portion. For example, agents you directly sponsor are in your first tier, and you receive 3.5% of their gross commission until they reach their cap of $16,000 company dollars. So the maximum revenue share that you can receive from an agent on your first tier is $2,800 per agent. If you attract 10 capping agents to the company, you earn $2,800 times 10, or $28,000 per year. Now, when you've attracted 5 producing agents into your first tier, it unlocks your tier 2, which are the agents your tier 1 agents attract to the company. So tier 1 agents are the ones that you personally attract. Tier 2 agents are the ones that your tier 1 agents personally attract, and so on and so forth. And it goes down for 7 tiers. Now from tier 2, you receive 4% of the gross commissions from those agents until they cap, which is a maximum of $3,200 per agent on your tier 2. So you actually receive more compensation from your tier 2 than from your tier 1, because you've taken your eyes off of yourself and put it onto others. It's actually part of our culture within the company that we uplift and support others. It's called compensation for contribution. One team, one goal, one fire. As you attract more agents, you can unlock up to 7 levels or 7 tiers. So when you attract 5 agents to the company, it unlocks tier 2. When you attract 10 agents to the company, it unlocks tier 3, and so on and so forth until you unlock 7 levels. Listen, real estate is not an industry for the faint of heart. Real estate agents are some of the hardest working people out there, and many agents get completely consumed by their business. It's like they're on a spinning hamster wheel, a constant treadmill that they can never get off of. They're constantly searching for their next deal, and they can never, ever stop. Well, now with the opportunity to actually gain stock in the company and the opportunity to build some residual income through revenue share, there's finally some tools to give agents a shot of retiring with dignity. I want you to write down a few numbers, okay? The first number is 2.35 million, okay? 2.35 million. The next number is 4%, and the third number is $94,000. So what are these?
Just going to stop real quick right here. This is a key part I want to pay a little extra attention to. And this is kind of how, consider this as rental income from a multifamily investment that you may or may not have, or you may be selling to other people. Consider what they're saying here.
Mean. This is what they mean. If you want to retire and you've worked really hard and saved and invested $2.35 million, not easy to do, but if you've done that, most financial advisors will tell you that you can actually take 4% of your investment each year to live on so that you don't erode your principal. Does that make sense? So let me rephrase that. If you have $2.35 million invested in the markets and you take 4% of that per year, you'll have a passive income essentially of $94,000 per year. Now, let's take a look at another way to arrive at that number of $94,000 per year of income through revenue share. With revenue share, if you attract 5 productive agents and those 5 agents do the same and they each attract 5, then you'll have 5 agents in your tier 1 providing you $14,000, and 25 agents in your tier 2, providing you $80,000 for a total of $94,000 in income per year.
So I'm going to stop real quick also. And what we're going to look at here is you've got 5 agents. These are your partners. These are your business partners. Like I talked about earlier on building your team or building your referral network of people with different niches. If you got into business together and became business partners on the EXP platform and you did this model here, that's where you're going to get your $94,000 by basically doing business as you already are.
Which is easier, honestly, saving up $2.35 million and investing it, or sharing this information and attracting 5 productive agents? It's actually kind of amazing, isn't it? What if you attracted 10 capping agents and they did the same and they each attracted 10? Even if it took you 5 years to do this, you'd have 10 agents in your tier 1 and you'd have 100 agents in your second tier. Now, if they're all capping agents, that equals $348,000 per year or $29,000 per month income. Again, it's compensation for contribution. Now, let's be totally clear. Are all agents you attract going to be capping agents? No, of course not. And when you attract 10 agents, are they each going to attract 10 more? No. Some will attract 0. Some will attract 8. Some will attract 20. Participating in agent attraction is totally optional. You don't have to do it. You don't have to attract any agents if you don't want to, but it's just really nice to know that if you do have a friend that joins the company because of your recommendation, that you're going to get compensated for that. Listen, there's a whole host of reasons that agents join us at EXP. Some agents come to this amazing company just for the cloud office and the robust business systems so that they can actually sell more homes. Some come for all the amazing education that EXP offers, or the collaboration, or even the stock ownership or the equity awards. And some agents, they just come to EXP for the agent healthcare program, which is amazing. It provides US agents access to innovative and low-cost healthcare choices. And yet others just love the simple, low-cost fee structure, which is the following. Every agent in the company, every agent is on an 80-20 split with a $16,000 annual cap. So once you reach $80,000 in gross commissions, you've reached your $16,000 cap and you go to 100% split with a $250 per transaction fee. After you do 20 transactions at $250 each, you reach what we call icon status. That's when you can receive up to your entire $16,000 cap back that you paid to the company back to you in the form of stock. After that, your transaction fee drops down to $75 per transaction for the rest of the anniversary year. By the way, for agents that work in high-end marketplaces and don't do as many transactions customarily, the other way you can reach icon status and be eligible to earn your entire $16,000 cap back in the form of stock is to earn a gross commission, a total gross commission of $500,000 with at least 10 transactions. Back to the fees. There's a one-time $149 starter fee, which actually includes your first month's cloud brokerage fee. After that, the cloud brokerage fee is $85 per month to pay for all the systems. There's a $25 per transaction broker review fee to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And there's a $40 per transaction risk management fee that caps at $500 per year. You'll never pay more than $500 per year for E&O insurance. And that's it. The growth of this company is extraordinary. We're now at over 50,000 agents and it's growing every day. EXP is the largest independent company on the planet, and it's the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate. We're currently in the US, in Canada, in the UK, in Australia, and we just opened up in a whole host of other countries. We opened in Brazil and India and South Africa and Mexico and Portugal and France, and there's many, many other countries to follow. The growth is astonishing to watch, and the collaboration and support are amazing to experience. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you.
Okay, so I'm going to stop the share right now. And I just want to kind of touch on a couple things, so the overall idea of the webinar here was to illustrate how multifamily is a niche, how referrals can be generated from that particular niche, and how agent referrals can really translate into some passive income for you, depending on the platform and the brokerage that you're aligned to. So it's my view and my opinion, and it's the reason why I joined this company, is that EXP has the best platform for that. So in my business, I deal with investors all the time. A lot of people get into real estate sales, into real estate in general, for two reasons: to build wealth and cash flow, right? Those are the two things that people, and if you can get both, that's even better. And how do you do that? You pay your debt down more times than not, unless you're paying cash. But build wealth through the equity of the property, through appreciation, and cash flow of the property through the rents and the net income. So what EXP Realty has figured out is to give agents a way to build wealth and create passive income, just like a real estate investment does. So imagine this: you're buying your real estate investments. The thing that it doesn't offer is depreciation and some tax write-offs and tax benefits. But if you combine, imagine your entire business. You've got your real estate sales business, right? You've got your investment portfolio, your real estate investment portfolio that is hopefully generating you cash flow and wealth and tax benefits. And then over here, you've got your EXP business, which is creating wealth through stock ownership and revenue share by attracting agents to your team or to the company that you can partner with, that you're financially aligned to. So it really is a three-headed monster from a real estate standpoint, that every agent getting into the business or considering a move within the business should really look at this business model. Whether you're a residential agent or a commercial agent, it would be foolish not to look to see how it can or cannot benefit your existing business. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I know it takes a lot to come off of the day, get onto a webinar like this and spend 30, 45 minutes to an hour, maybe learning something, maybe not learning something. But I'm grateful to anybody and all of you who have stuck with me through the entire presentation. And I will get you those two scripts for multifamily prospecting. If you have any further questions, or if you want to partner with me on deals, or learn a little bit more about the EXP platform, I'd be happy to share. You can always contact me through my cell phone is 312-493-8171. You can contact me through my email, my website. You can go to the Real Estate Machine Show on YouTube, which I have videos up there. And if you want to find me, you'll find me, Chris Matan, EXP Realty. So until then, everybody have a great day. And again, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll catch up with you next time. Week 5 is next week.